Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder, the place where we decode the complex world of business filings. And today we're looking at Urban One Incorporated, a company that seems to be playing a little tune with its debt. Alright, so Urban One Incorporated, or UAIN as you might know them on the stock market, has just filed a report that touches on some interesting financial maneuvers, specifically around their debt. It is not a full financial picture like a quarterly report, but it gives us a peek behind the curtain regarding their financial obligations and how they're managing them. Stick around and we'll break down what this really means for the company, and potentially for you as an investor or just someone curious about how big corporations handle their money. And before we dive in, if you find these deep dives helpful, hit that subscribe button and join our Discord community. The link is in the description below where we discuss these filings and more. So, what is going on here? Essentially, on the 3rd of December 2025, Urban One Incorporated made a deal. They entered into something called a supplemental indenture. Now, that sounds fancy, but think of it as an amendment to an existing agreement about their debt. They already have these notes, which are basically loans the company took out, called 7.375% senior secured notes due in 2028. These notes have an interest rate of 7.375%, which is pretty high. The supplemental indenture is an update to the original contract for these loans. It is important to understand that this change doesn't just happen. The supplemental indenture will only become active once something else occurs. Specifically, the completion of a previously announced exchange offer and consent solicitation for these very same notes. What this means is that the company is trying to get the holders of these notes to agree to some changes. They might be trying to get better terms, perhaps lower interest rates or a longer repayment period, or they might be restructuring the debt in some other way. The big takeaway here is about managing this existing debt. When a company goes out and gets loans, especially with a high interest rate like 7.375%, it is a significant financial commitment. These are secured notes, which means there is collateral backing them up, making them less risky for the lenders, but potentially more impactful for the company if things go south. The fact that they're amending the indenture for these notes suggests they're actively working on their balance sheet and how they manage their liabilities. This kind of action is common for companies looking to improve their financial flexibility, reduce interest expenses, or smooth out their repayment schedules. Now, this filing doesn't give us a deep dive into the numbers like a full financial report would, as there are no specific money amounts or percentage changes discussed in detail here. It is more about the legal and contractual side of their debt. However, the fact that they are filing this indicates it is a material event, meaning it is important enough to inform investors. The supplemental indenture itself, which is filed as an exhibit, would contain all the nitty-gritty details of the changes being made to the original loan agreement. Without seeing the full text of that document, we can only infer the general purpose, which is to modify the terms of their existing senior secured notes. This filing is pretty straightforward. It mainly tells us about a change to a debt agreement. It is not a report with flowing revenue numbers or profit margins. It's more of a legal update on how they are managing their financial obligations. Think of it like this: when you have a mortgage and you decide to refinance it to get a better interest rate, or maybe change the repayment term. This is the corporate version of that. They are adjusting the terms of a significant loan. So what is the bottom line here? Urban One Incorporated is taking steps to manage its debt. The high interest rate on these notes is a considerable expense, and any move to alter those terms, especially before the notes are due, is worth paying attention to. It shows proactive management, but it also highlights that the company is carrying a significant amount of debt that requires attention. Now, looking at the broader picture, Urban One is a media conglomerate. They own television stations, radio stations, and other media properties. Companies in the media space often carry substantial debt to finance acquisitions, operations, and content. The success of such companies relies heavily on their ability to generate consistent revenue and manage their expenses, especially interest payments. The fact that they are focusing on their debt structure is a key indicator of their financial strategy for investors. This filing suggests a focus on financial health and potentially improving profitability by reducing interest costs. However, it also serves as a reminder of the company's leverage. If the media market experiences a downturn, or if interest rates continue to rise, this debt could become an even larger burden. The success of this supplemental indenture likely hinges on whether they can get the note holders to agree to the proposed changes. If they do, it could lead to lower interest payments and a more stable financial footing. If not, the company might have to explore other, possibly less favorable, options to manage this debt. In conclusion, Urban One Incorporated is making adjustments to its debt. This filing, while not packed with financial statements, signals a significant effort to renegotiate the terms of its existing loans. Investors should keep an eye on how this plays out, as it could impact the company's future profitability and financial stability. Alright, That is our breakdown of Urban One's latest filing. What is your take on these debt management strategies and what they signal for the company's future? Drop your thoughts in the comments below if this analysis was valuable. Hitting that like button really helps us out, and subscribe for more corporate deep dives like this. And don't forget to check out the Discord community linked in the description for more discussions. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.